All right, guys, here we go. We are live. Just getting on. Great Friday afternoon. Wait for some people to log on. Hope everyone's having a great Friday. My sister sending me messages talking about where am I? I'm already on. It's 11:45. Right now, I am on. Today's been a pretty good day. Got up, worked out, already finished that. I was looking forward to getting on today. Guys, see that we're going to stick with the name, the Daily Dose. It is gaining momentum for sure. It is gaining momentum, so I'm excited to get on here and hang out. I have some pretty exciting questions. Oh, Julian, Shandon. So today we have some. Nah, I was not late. It's my sister telling me I was late. I was on time, 11:45 on the dot, according to my iPhone clock. So, um, as you guys know, I'll be on here every day, 11:45, no matter if I'm traveling or what, Monday through Friday. Uh, so if you guys have time, jump on with me. We're gonna hang out, have some fun. Um, Yesterday, had about 4 or 5 people send me some questions on inside my DM. They was flying off in my DM. They had some good questions though. You guys make sure. So what I'm going to start doing, we're going to start. Obviously, we're going to take over social media. If you guys have a question for me or anything like that, or you just want to share something with me that's going on, just hashtag the Daily Dose. I've already checked it. No one's really, no one's hashtagging that, so that'll make it easy for me to find on Instagram, Facebook, whatever you need to do. Use that hashtag. Hashtag the Daily Dose. I'll check them each day, see what's going on. Try to keep in contact with you guys like that with the Daily Dose. I'll be hashtagging it as well. Um, so, but the first question that I want to get to, it was asked by someone yesterday. They were asking about funding, right? Funding when they're starting up their business, right? So, there's a few ways that you can go about getting funding. I think for the most part, unless you're talking about, $500,000, $1 million, I say that you need to really, in the beginning at least, you need to buckle down and take all of your personal spending money away, right? That's just part of it. Like there's no way around it. You can't have, you know, new clothes and new shoes and new car and all that stuff and trying to build your brand and build your craft, right? You have to give up some stuff, right? So that sort of goes without saying. If you're doing, if you're really living on a budget, I mean, like a lean budget. My sister, she used to always give me a hard time in the beginning because before I started my own thing, I buy the latest shoes, clothes all the time. But then after a while, she started noticing, she like, man, you had those shoes for a while. You're not buying new clothes? No, I'm not. I freaking went on a very, very lean budget. Gave up my shoes. I like shoes. I like clothing. Um, but I basically just gave it all up so that I can eventually later I can go buy whatever I want to. Like Julian said, hey, if I want to, I go buy. Oh, no, I cannot buy a new Bugatti, but I can buy stuff that I want to now. So first of all, before you worry about getting funding, because ideally it's best to have your own money. Ideally, it's best to spend your own money because when it's yours, it hurts a little more. It requires you to make smarter and wiser decisions. And I think for the most part, just my strong belief is that here in America, you can do pretty much anything you want to do, right? Um, if you're willing to make those sacrifices that that you have to make. I mean, my family made sacrifices. My wife made sacrifices. She didn't buy everything she wanted. Never gave me a hard time about it because she was on board. Now I hope that she looks back and realizes it was worth it, but that's what it takes, like really. So the first thing before you worry about funding is you need to, you can't keep up with the Joneses, and you can't keep up with the Joneses and try to build your own thing. Jeff, big bankroll. um, there's this guy that I like. He's a great financial guy, Dave Ramsey. He says, "Live like no one now, so you can live like no one later." Really think about that. Live like no one now so you can live like no one later. He says that all the time. So he's saying, do stuff now that no one's doing. Give up, some of your vacations. Give up some of, your new stuff and buckle down. Reinvest that money back into your craft, your business, because that's what it's really about. But if you have to go out and get funding, right, I say the first thing you sort of want to is try to find you a friend or a family, friend or a family member that can help you out, because that's, that's sort of going to be the easiest way. I know that money can ruin relationships, so you want to be careful about who you're getting money from if you have to get money at all. Fortunately, when I started my business, 5 years ago or so, I was given $10,000. Blew my mind away. I thought that $10,000 was a ton of money. And it's a decent amount of money. But I was given $10,000, and they were like, just pay me back when you can. Now that's not going to happen to everyone. I remember like being so grateful and thankful, saying, oh, "Man, are you sure? $10,000. This family, they just wanted to bless me, Christina, and our family, right?" So gave us 10 grand. So that's sort of how we got started with that. So it was from, a friend, a family member, and we paid them back or whatever, and all that's fine and dandy. So the first thing you want to do is try to find someone that, the first thing you want to do is, try to reach out to friend and family members, see if there's someone that could help you. And if not, try to find you some angel investors. Angel investors are people that are sort of be there with you for the long haul. They want to really see you do well, so they're willing to, give you more help and stuff, but they definitely want, to get their money back, And when we're talking about big businesses, we're talking about, venture capitalists. That's sort of like the show Shark Tank, because, that's, that's big time. That's big time, right? When he's talking about venture capital, some businesses, they need $1 million to start, so most people don't have family members that can give them $1 million. So you have to go out and, try to get this money from venture capitalists. And these guys are serious. Like it is a business for them. It is a lifestyle for them. That is how they make money. So first of all, they have to believe in your product, and they have to believe in you, right? So you're definitely gonna need a proof of concept, right? When you're talking about bigger businesses, you're gonna need a proof of concept. And a lot of these venture capitalists, angel investors, well, they want to see that you've sacrificed to basically get to where you are, right? So you just can't go to someone and say, "Oh, I have this great idea. I want to be, the next Martha Stewart or whoever it is, you like," but you haven't given up anything personally. Like all the guys, if you watch the show Shark Tank, I just like that show, so I use it as a point of reference. If you like that show, all those guys are self-made, right? So they started with nothing, like everyone else, and then they built it to something special, right? So they get the grind, they get the sacrifice that must be made. That's why I really like that show so much, because these aren't, and there's nothing wrong with if your parents have $50 million. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's a different type of mindset that you have when you had to build your own thing up to, like Mark Cuban, billions of dollars. He sold a company, blah, blah, blah. Damon John started, FUBU out the trunk of his car. I really like his story. I follow him. He just got a new book I'm going to read. And he talks about the struggles, He said everyone supports you. One of his things, he was saying everyone supports you until they have to pay you, right? Think about that. Everyone supports you until they have to pay you, right? I tell people that's a big deal when someone is paying you. When someone's giving you that hard-earned money, that is a big deal, right? But I think that you need to really think about, before you think about getting money, You need to look at your personal finances and look at what all have you given up to get to where you want to be. If you haven't been terrified and worried about where your next meal is going to come from, if you haven't gone without new shoes, new clothes, cable, all this stuff that people take for granted, you don't need money from anyone else. You need to cut your lifestyle down and figure out how to save your own money so that you can build your own brand by yourself. Because I'm a strong believer it's best to grow a business and do a business by yourself, or if you're married or, that type of thing. Because money does a funny thing to people, The more money is involved, the crazier people get, the crazier it gets. Even for me, I don't have a partner, it's just me and my wife. But if I had a partner, the fact that I would have to ask them if I could do this or can we change this, like that doesn't sit well with me. Because most of the time, the partnership, it may start off as you guys start together 50-50, but then when the responsibilities start getting changed up and one partner's going to feel like they're doing too much and, this guy's going to want his money back faster, it just gets bad, right? Yeah, Julia, I get it. But yeah, like that's the main thing. It's best if you can do this by yourself. But if you have to reach out to people and get help, just be very, very smart about who you get money from. Because if you just take money from anyone, no one's just going to give you money. But if you find money and you get it from the wrong person, or you go get a loan from a bank, they don't care about you succeeding at all. They care about that transaction, which they should. It's a business move. They care about that transaction, and they want their money back when it's supposed to be paid back. All right, so that's one of the things that I really like. I was just blessed in my personal situation, but now I look back, man, I will bootstrap anything. I'll give up whatever so that I can do my own thing by myself and not have to answer to anyone but God and my wife. That's it. That's really what it's about for me. So that's sort of that first question. You can get some investors, you can go get a loan and that type of stuff, but that's sort of the last step. There's a lot of paperwork. Really, getting a loan from a bank, from a bank and a venture capital, that sort of turns into like a full-time job for a little while, right? Because they want to see the ins and outs of everything. They want to see how your projecting is going to work and all that type of stuff right there. So just be careful when it comes to taking money. Try to get rid of everything. Try to get rid of everything out of your life and just make your own business work. So that's all I have for that first question. I hope I answer that for you. The next question, I received a question about sort of changing careers. And this specifically was about people who were changing careers later in life, who've maybe lost a little motivation or gone through some tough times and that type of stuff right there. So we'll talk a little bit about both of those. Change careers is a tough thing, especially when you have, when you already have responsibilities as you get older. With us, we only had one kid, something like that, 2 kids, I don't know. But I wasn't 20 years in a career and then I was thinking about leaving. First of all, you just can't up and leave your job. I'm not telling anyone to just up and leave their job. You go and you go and leave your job and you have no money. You cannot come and live with me. I love you. I'll support you. But you want to make sure that you have a plan, right? So first of all, I think that if you have experience, if you're qualified, for different stuff, I think that employees like having more mature, level-headed employees, right? So if you're thinking about leaving your career for another job, I don't think that's an issue at all, But you have to be qualified for the job. And if you're thinking about leaving your career to start your own thing, I think that's good as well. Obviously you have to have a solid game plan. Even if you're going through some tough stuff, you need to find out. You need to find out how you're gonna bring stuff to the table. Like this is. I mean, the thing that gets me fired up. People say, oh, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm too black, I'm too white. Like, man, this is America. Those are just excuses. You have to find a way to make it work. Like there's kids, I say kids, young kids under 22, 23, making thousands of dollars on Instagram and Snapchat and stuff like every single day because they're doing it. So if you're not into those sort of platforms, I mean, that's fine, but it's just because you don't care enough, you know. So if you really want something, you can do it. So like, even if you're going through a tough time, think about changing careers, I think that you guys can do whatever you really put your mind to. Okay, no job. Okay, so Angela was saying, you know, not a job change, want to do her own thing. I think that specifically people that are older, they have more experience. Like experience is king, right? Experience is king. You're more level-headed. You understand that life's going to give you ups and downs. So I think that you can definitely. I think it's a little easier as you get older because of course, you're going to be terrified. Everyone's going to be terrified when they first start doing their own thing. But when you're looking at changing a career, sort of going from working for someone to doing your own thing, there's a special time frame that you have to work. Because I understand everyone has responsibilities, as do I, but after the kids go to bed, or if you don't have kids at home, I mean, after you get off from work, there's 3 or 4 hours that you can work every single day on your business, right? On your own thing. So if you go to work from 9 to 5, you get home, settle down, relax a little bit. So from 8 to 12 p.m., from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. in the morning, you should be grinding on your craft every single day, like 5 days a week. On the weekends, working on it some, 3-4 hours a day. If you're not doing that, you're really not, making any steps to achieve your goals. Everyone talks about, they want to do a little bit more, they want to do this, but there's time in each day. I mean, the guys that make $1 billion a year, they have 24 hours in a day, just like the rest of us. So that's one thing that I really say. You got to find the time. Like me, I do a lot of stuff when the kids are sleeping at night, when they're taking a nap. I don't take naps during the day. That's just me. I should probably sometime I'm tired, but for me, that's a good 2.5 hours where I can get a lot of work done. So it's better for me to get that work done than take a nap just for, the comfort of taking a nap. I'll get 6 or 7 hours of sleep at night, right? So Jeff Evans asked me a question about angel investors. Man, that's you really have to ask around about the angel investors. You specifically, you'll better find someone if you're looking for someone to, help you grow a brand or something. But in your case, for sure, you got to make sure it's the right person. If you guys don't know who Jeff Evans is, Google Jeff Evans CrossFit. That's all I'm going to say about that, and you'll know who he is. A good friend of mine, extremely good looking. That's why I like him. Hey, he's a great guy. But yeah, seriously, Jeff, if you're looking for an angel investor, man, you better find someone. But you got to ask around, But just be careful, because remember, people gonna want their money back. I know a little bit about your situation, so I know you get some of the ins and outs, what goes on when you have a partner and that type of stuff right there. All right, so just be careful with that. That's just how I feel about having a partner and all that. Yes, Angie, you definitely, you got to apply yourself. That's one thing I say. Everyone talks about they want to do more and more, but I want to see your schedule each day. I want to see your schedule planned out for 5-6 days a week, and I want to see how are you really applying yourself. Because there are a lot of people that give what I call lip service and that type of stuff. But you got to have a plan. You got to be working it. You got to be working that plan. Abra, what about starting a business? I know some of you guys' case. So my sister's asking, what about them starting a business? In their case, that's not, for you guys, both of you guys will be working. You guys are going to be tired, so just get ready for that. You guys have to go to work. You guys are going to have to go to work, and then, when the kids are sleeping, you guys need to be working on it, building that infrastructure 2 or 3 hours every single night for at least 3 months, that gives you some time where you're not rushed and just really working on that game plan, right? Really, guys, starting a business and stuff, it is difficult. It can be extremely hard, but the first step is you got to start working on it while you're not making money off of it. No, no dream really starts with, no one's gonna pay you from day one. Like I always tell you guys, I thought I knew so many people when I first joined my gym. I thought I was gonna have 150, 200 people from day one. That's not the case. No one's gonna be running down um, and begging you to take their money. Even if the, even if the product is great, because people want to see that it works. Um, Kelly said having a schedule. Oh yeah, having a schedule is huge. I'm big on that. I'm very schedule oriented because if you don't, time just flips away. You're like, dang, where did today go? Where did the next 3 hours go? If I've been on Facebook, social media, blah blah blah, that type of thing right there. So I would say definitely, get a schedule. Write down, 6 to 9 a.m. This is what I'm doing. 12 to 3. That's what I'm doing. Because you're accountable to your time, and then time doesn't slip away. Um, because time is money. Time is very, very precious, right? Time is very, very precious. So you guys make sure that you're scheduling. Um, I think I'll try to find my schedule. I posted a piece of it a couple weeks ago on my Instagram and my Facebook as well. So if you're on Instagram, follow at my handle is at Sherm5, SHERM5. And then on here, you can go through my pictures, or if you go to Instagram, you'll better find I showed a piece of my schedule. You'll see how I have my day laid out. And then, that'll give you a starting point. If you need a little help, we can definitely get you guys set up with that. That's a fairly simple fix. But yeah, so remember, I'm not going to be coming on the weekends. If I do it, I'll just pop up and say something. But Monday through Friday, 11:45. You guys let me know if you have another question before I get off, because I'm getting ready to get off. But remember, hashtag the daily dose, hashtag the daily dose, and that'll give me something to look at. I'll answer questions that way, or you can just slide off in my DM and shoot me a question, and I'll definitely get to it. I pray that everyone has a great Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys Monday at 11:45. I'm out.